Greetings, my Virgilian scholars. So I want to pick up and do some more lines in preparation for tomorrow's class. So we just started at the end of class this speech or this quotation that Aeneas is giving to Dido in the underworld. Just to review from the very top here, remember, in Felix is like unfortunate, unhappy, unlucky, whatever, and it's vocative, right? He's speaking to her. Unhappy Dido had a verus nuntius, had a true message, ergo, therefore, come mihi, to me. And then remember, these are both infinitives here. Extinctam esse, secutam esse. One is perfect active, the secutam esse because it's the opponent. One is perfect passive, extinctam esse because it's not the opponent. Unfortunate Dido had a true message, therefore come to me, that you, which isn't there, have been destroyed, and that you have actively followed the extrema, the last things, ferro, by the sword, meaning she killed herself. And then we end it with this, hey you, alas, oh no, was I, fui, was I the cause of the cause of a death, funeris tibi, for you, was I the cause for you of a death? Again, it's interesting that there's no real interrogative word here, right? So the punctuation in English tells us it's a question, but he could just be stating a fact, right? Declaratively, alas, I was a cause of a death for you, right? I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Okay, so now we have this next part here. And the verb, remember, you want to go verb hunting, is yorro, which is a first-person singular verb. It means to swear. Think of the word jury, right? Like you swear to tell the truth. And it's all connected to the same root of jus, which is like justice and all this type of stuff, right? So oaths are about, justice and things. So I swear, first-person singular, so boring indicative verb. I swear persidera. I swear through the stars. Sidus, sideris, neuter means star. So that's accusative plural. I swear through the stars. In English, we would say like by, you swear by something, or you even swear on something, like I swear on my, my mother's life or whatever. But in Latin here, Virgil is doing it with per. I swear through the stars, through the superos, the higher ones, the lofty ones. He means the gods here, right? Per superos, through the gods, et si qua. Remember that if you see a relative after a si, it becomes indefinite. So si qua, this si qua here means if any fides, if any trust. I mean, it means like faith. If any trust, if there is est, if there is any trust. Qua fides, any trust, sub, where, under the tellureima, the lower earth, meaning the underworld. Remember, telluris is a noun that's like synonymous with terra or humus, things like that, right? Tellus, Tellus, but it's third declension, telluris. And then he in invitus, unwilling. This is one of the most important words in this passage that we're going to have to discuss. Is this an honest statement or not? He says unwilling. He's describing himself. O queen, regina, again, vocative, he's talking to her. Unwilling queen, cessi. Another first-person singular verb, right? So you can see you have a first-person singular verb, right? He said, there's first-person singular here. Fui, I was. I swear, presently. And now cessi, perfect tense. I left. Unwilling queen, I left de tuo litore, from your shore. So again, he's trying to explain to Dido he didn't want to leave, right? Invitus, the opposite of wanting. He was unwilling. He didn't want to leave. And we could debate, maybe go and flash back to book 4 and how good, book 4 and how good he had it when he was, wearing the fancy bedazzled sword and the cape and all this stuff. So again, let me clean up a translation for you here, and then we'll get back to it. So persidera your, I swear, literally through the accusative stars, through the lofty ones, i.e. the gods, and if est there is qua any fides, any nominative fides. Remember the si qua, if you have a relative after the si, it makes it indefinite. If there is any faith, loyalty, trust, under the ablative telore ima modifying telore. Ima means like lower, under the lower earth, meaning the underworld. Invitus, unwilling. That's nominative singular masculine. It's modifying the I that's implied in chessi. Unwilling queen, O vocative queen, I left perfectly from your ablative shore. Pardon me. So now this next part, we need, if we go verb hunting, there's this relative clause here. So we'll hold off. This relative clause in between the commas we'll hold off on. And the verb here is agere. I know that looks like it's an infinitive, but you know how Virgil sometimes syncopates and abbreviates things. So that's really agerunt. Agerunt. From ago, agere, egi, actus, to drive. So it's a third plural perfect active indicative verb. What drove? The subject is all the way back here, yusa, the commands, right? The nominative commands, the nominative neuter plural commands, literally things having been ordered, right? Drove, egere, equivalent to egerunt. So those yusa drove who? Me, accusative, right? So this me, the meh. But the commands deum of the gods. Remember, deum is like deorum. It's a syncopated form of deorum. So that's genitive here, right? This is genitive. So, but the nominative yusa, the nominative commands of the gods drove me imperii suis by their powers, I guess, right? We could talk about the weirdness of this being reflexive, because reflexive adjectives always refer back to the subject, and the subject are the commands. So I know it sounds like it's the gods that have their power, that it's the God's own power, but really grammatically, it's the orders themselves that have the power. I mean, we can talk about what that means, like philosophically or whatever, literarily. All right, so let's get to this relative clause. The que is relative, neuter plural, right? The commands which, right? But now the commands of the gods, que, which do what? Kogunt. Kogo kogere means to force. To force. To force together, right? So the which que, which nunc, which now force, and it's i.e. me, right? Which now force me, ire, to go, infinitive, ire, right? Complementary infinitive with kogunt, which now force me to go where? Through these shades, these ghosts, through the places. Senta is an interesting word. So if you look down here, it means like rough, Thorny. It's usually like a botanical word, like it's about plants. But here, rough is probably the best way. Rough, situ. Situ means like rot, neglect. Literally, like situs by itself means like a site. But think about something being like static, something standing still. If something doesn't move, things start to grow on it. It decays, it rusts. So a lot of times in English, people get very poetic with this line and say, through the places rough with rot, because they like the R in the R, the alliteration. Through the places rough with rot. So loca senta, accusative plural, object of per. They're accusative plural, right? Loca, the noun, senta, the adjective. Through the places, senta, rough, thorny, spiked, whatever. Rough is probably the best word. Rough with situ, with rot, with neglect, maybe is a good thing, right? Something's been situated somewhere and nobody has tended to it, right? Rough with rot. And through, per, the noctem profundem, through the deep night, which I guess, it's always nighttime in the underworld. I'll cap it here, and then we could do some of these other lines tomorrow. There's some interesting stuff coming on here. I just don't want to make these videos longer than they need to be. So I'll just cap it there. Yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow. I'll see you or hear you in class, 5th period tomorrow. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are great.